AI for SEO. That is today's topic. Welcome to the AI for SEO show. We are the show that is all about AI for SEO, that is artificial intelligence to be utilized for search engine optimization. My name is Josh Bashinsky. Welcome to the show. We had a bit of a break. I have with me my co-host Greg Bassani. Say hi there, Greg.
Hey guys, how are you? Haven't seen you guys in a while. And Josh, how are you?
I'm
Hope you're
doing
feeling
uh,
better these days.
I'm doing much better. Thank you for asking, my friend. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Trying to get back into the swing of things.
Excellent. Well, here we are. So, as I mentioned, we are the show to watch. It's called the SEO plus AI show, but I called it the AI for SEO show because today that's what we're all about. We're talking about today the best way to use artificial intelligence for search engine optimization. So today's show is all about using AI to do SEO, using AI to monitor SEO, using AI to plan your SEO, using AI to find your keywords, using AI to find lucrative niches, using AI to find the boosting keywords for you for your on page, using AI to determine if you're spammy. AI doesn't have to be black hat. And at AI for SEO, at the SEO plus AI show, we have AIs built out of all different kinds of models. We use not only do we use GPT and Chat GPT of various versions, but we have other models as well that we use. Open source models, other models that are used, and so we are all about using AI of various different kinds to improve your search engine optimization. So today we're going to have a quick show. We're going to show you the advancements in AI for SEO. Ryan should be joining us pretty soon. He's our local guru, and he might want to talk a little bit about what's been going on in local and how you can use AI for local SEO as well. So with that in mind, let me share my screen here. Now let me just make sure I'm actually broadcasting first. That's just something I'd like to make sure. Yes, okay, something is going on. All right, excellent. And Ryan, and they have sound. All right, great. Okay, fantastic. Okay. So let me quickly show you what we have new going on here. And again, today's going to be a shorter meeting. If you have any SEO questions, please, by all means, ask them in the chat or ask them in the description below. But I'm going to keep today's meeting short. And I'm going to quickly show you how you can use a white hat, a completely white hat AI for SEO. In the industry, quite often, in fact, let me just zoom in on my face here as I give you my invective. Quite often in SEO, people think automation automatically means black hat. That's not necessarily the case, right? You can use AI to automate all kinds of tasks that have nothing to do with content generation and have nothing to do with generating using black hat methods in any way, shape, or form. At SEOcopilotai.com, which is our AI that we built, it used to be called Keyword Spy. Now it's called SEO Copilot because we're developing it now. We've taken the first steps to developing it to a robust SEO copilot, like a AI consultant that is SEO consultant that is there to tell you what to do for your SEO in a completely white hat way. So we are using AI for SEO in a completely white hat way, but you still get the automation, you still get the cost savings, you still get the power of artificial intelligence that can see far beyond what a human can see in terms of various areas of your SEO. So basically, we're pulling in black hat efficiency, but for complete white hat product. So that's the best of both worlds right there. Anyone who's in an in-house SEO position should be using AI. You want to have the black hat efficiency and yet a white hat output. Anyone who's in an agency should be using AI, our SEO Copilot AI, so you can get the black hat efficiency of vastly reducing your costs, vastly reducing your time, but extending your competitive analysis, extending your keyword analysis, extending your niche analysis in an efficient way that's beyond whatever any human could possibly do. And then also generating SEO, your on-page SEO, anywhere from just your SEO tags, the URL, the title, et cetera, all the way to a full article, which is completely white hat. And if you're like, Josh, I'm not comfortable with using AI to generate the whole article, then our answer is fine, then don't. Just use AI to get ideas about how you could write that article, right? We have pros and cons. We have the helpful content update AI. We have the review content AI. We can give you subject matter expert suggestions as to what you should be saying. And we have a proprietary spam score to tell you whether you're spammy or not, right? There's nothing more white hat than this. We have a proprietary heat score, which is helpfulness, experience, expertise, authority, and trust, that analyzes millions of data points by this point. It's analyzing millions of data points and is telling you whether you are truly helpful, whether you're truly showing experience, whether you're truly showing expertise, whether you're truly showing your authority, and whether any user will trust your content. We have a proprietary score for that, only possible because of our advanced artificial intelligence. So that's what you want to do for AI for SEO. You want to use AI for SEO. You need to get, if you want to get ahead in the SEO game, you need to use black hat efficiency for white hat goals or white hat purposes. And that's what we do here on the show. If you want to do a black hat, you can do that too. But you didn't hear that from me officially, completely. You can be completely white hat with this. You don't, it's a tool. Like, you can use a tool any way you want. All of the research is completely efficient and has nothing to do with white hat or black hat. It's how you use that research that makes you black hat or white hat. Our tool allows you to be completely white hat in a way that no other tool does, right? We enable you to be white hat. Greg isn't being satirical. He just literally has a cold. Hi there, Ryan. How you doing? Ryan's joined us.
Woo. Hi, guys.
What's up, Ryan?
Not much. I have a new camera now, so I'm like, it's HD. I gotta have a light still coming. But yeah, going pro.
Awesome. He's going pro. And I can see the water
Yeah.
cooler in the background. You're clearly in your office there in your agency.
Yeah, the living room office.
The living room office. There we go. Fantastic. Okay, so just to finish my point, as I was saying, so we have black hat efficiency in terms of the analysis, in terms of getting you the competitive edge, but we have completely white hat generation. And we could do that in a way that no other AI can do. No other AI has a spam score that is as good as ours or has one, period. No other AI has a heat score that's as good as ours or has one, period. And anybody who tries to replicate this later, and there will be copycats when they realize how awesome this is, you're already going to be far ahead of the competition because you're already going to be using this for such a long time. So let me quickly show you, before I do that though, so I'm going to show you the advancements in our AI system. But before I do that, because Ryan just got here, I just want to give Ryan a chance to talk about what's going on in the local SEO field and how he's using AI for SEO. And then I'll show you the advancements that we have. Ryan, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, guys, so it's been quite the wild times in local because there's been a massive shift on intent and searches, as you probably know. Intent is very important now. A great example I used to say is that a money term that we would target for used to be like, let's say, IT support services. The intent of that actually pulled up some businesses that offered it and, some directories. Not the same anymore. You do that same search in Google and you get a lot of how-tos, job postings, things that aren't related. And there might be a map pack, but it's down near the bottom because it's not the match of an intent. If you have a local business or you're managing local sites and you're noticing that you might still have some rankings, but you've lost leads, you're not on the right SERPs anymore because there's been a massive shift in where those money terms are. And chances are you probably got to dig deeper into your keywords and finding ones that the intent is that. Which means you got to have a good keyword discovery process. But 100%, that is a big factor. And I've had lots of conversations online with people facing that issue.
Yeah, and so I'm glad you mentioned that. Google is also using AI for their SEO, so to speak. Google's using AI for rankings all day long. And they've changed their AIs recently along this new large language model, this LLM bandwagon, which that's what GPT is, generative pre-trained transformer, is a large language model. Google invented the transformer, and so of course they're in there. Their horse is in that race completely in having large language models. They had BERT, then they had Lambda, now they have PaLM 2, and Gemini. They just keep coming out with bigger large language models that are going to replace the quality raters. Google for years has used human quality raters to rate the quality of pages to determine what should rank where, and all they did was computerize the indications of the human quality raters. Now what they're doing is they're laying off these quality raters. Google just laid off a whole bunch of employees. And what they're doing now is they're having the AI determine what is quality and what the query intent is. So if you don't know what query intent means, this is what it means. When someone does a search query, that's what it's called, a search query. What is the intent? What is it they're trying to get out of it? Do they want to make a purchase? Remember the sales or search funnel. At the top, there's informational queries. What is internet? What is networking services or internet services? The middle of it would be best internet services. And then the end of the sales funnel would be buy internet services or something along those lines. And so Google is, and so like, you're like, okay, Josh, that's pretty easy to understand. It's like pretty clearly, what is it? What's the best of it? They've got their credit card close to hand, and then buy it. They have the credit card right now and they want to make a purchase. There's all kinds of business decisions you need to make as to where in that sales or slash search funnel you want to show up. But you might be like, okay, Josh, that's pretty clear cut. What's the problem that Ryan's talking about? The problem is there's all kinds of edge cases in the middle between the information to the know, as Google calls it, to the know/do. They want to know something or do something. And between the know/do and the do, they want to do something. There's all, he just said it switched from the do to the know, right? They want to, instead of buying these services, they want to learn DIY tips, or they want to learn how to do it, or at least that's what Google's new AI thinks humans want to do. So there's no way you can humanly guess what Google's AI is going to think should be the query intent for any given query. And there's all kinds of edge cases in the middle between the know and the no-do and the no-do and the do, that you think last year it was a do query and now it's a no-do, or last year it was a no-do and now it's a do. So
and
go ahead, Ryan.
I was going to say, in many cases, you get like fractured SERPs where there might be like three different intents on that. Like there might be like Indeed job postings, there might be how-tos, and then there might be services. The trick we're finding now for local is that you got to hit the map pack on all of these. Yeah, low clicks, low exposure, maybe the right intent type, but unless you're showing up on all of them, your leads are going to be coming down. I think that's a great way to explain it. So yeah, hope that makes sense.
It does completely. So again, as I mentioned, and Ryan just mentioned, as a business, you need to decide where in the sales search process you need to be. It's best to be everywhere. It's best to be on all three levels, right? You want to have options for all three levels. You want to be retargeting. If there's a retargeting process, they don't buy right away, that people don't have very high buying intent, you need to retarget them so they see you all over the place and get that user back, get that usage on your website, get those signals on your website is what you want to do. You need to terminate the search. You need to convert, whatever the conversion is. An information query converts by them being informed and they terminate the search. A no-do query converts by them changing their search to trying to purchase or being informed and thinking about it for later. A do query ends up in the traditional conversion where they buy something, they convert. So you need to be able to do those things on all three levels, and you need to be on all three levels. But for each given, but there's no way a human could come up with this, right? Only an AI is going to be able to analyze enough data points to know what Google thinks the query intent is for these different areas, at least at scale, right? If you want to do this at scale, if you want to rank hundreds of pages, which you need to, and you want to do it really highly, which you need to, and you want to do it efficiently, which you need to, unless you're an in-house SEO who has forever to rank 10 pages, okay, you can still do it by hand, probably. But it would sure be a lot easier if you had an AI doing it for you in 10 minutes, and that's what we've developed, and that's what I want to show you. How to use AI for SEO today is what I'm going to show you. So let me show you, and if I forget query intent, guys, remind me, let me show you the advancements we've made in our SEO Copilot, how the SEO Copilot is helping you do your AI better in a very non-intrusive way. And let me show you how you would find the lucrative niches, you'd find the best keywords to rank for, you do the keyword research, keyword discovery process, as Ryan mentioned. You could find the proper query intent so you know you're making the right kind of page. And you can tell whether or not how spammy you can be. You can tell whether you can be lazy and do an obviously made for SEO page. Hint, you can't anymore. Or what levels of spamminess exactly can you tolerate? How do you quantify this, Josh? I'm going to show you how our AI does that for you today. So let me go here to share the screen. Greg is very, very excited, as we could tell. Greg looked like he was about to fall asleep. That's fine. Greg's seen this already. Greg knows what I'm doing. Okay, so here's the first advancement we've made here in our SEO Copilot. Go to SEOCopilotAI.com. If you go to SEOCopilotAI.com, you can try it free for, I believe it's 10 days or 10 pages. I can't remember which one of those is. But you could try it for free, and the pricing is also quite reasonable, as you could see here, to start off with as well. So don't think, oh yeah, I can use it free for now, Josh, but it costs an arm and a leg when I'm done. No, it doesn't at all. It's actually quite reasonable. It depends on how much SEO you need to do with it. Let me try to get rid of this thing here. There we go. Okay, so as per usual, keyword discovery, You fill in the difficulty modifiers. You determine, are you a top level expert? This will make it slightly easier. Do you plan on using AI content? Now, this doesn't mean our AI content. This means somebody else's. That might make it a bit harder. And you're already using a powerful site. You can toggle these, and then you put in a keyword. Now, let me show you the new things that we have in here. This is what this does. It finds you niches. But look what else it does here. We have a new metric. So in our system, we've been with hundreds of thousands of keywords, with millions of data points. We have been analyzing the rough amount of money you can make in a niche, the rough guesstimate. This is the highest keyword revenue ballpark. Now, it's just a ballpark, right? It uses some standard kind of calculations like a 1-to-2 ratio of CPC to revenue, which is what Google's chief economist actually put out, that it's a 1-to-2 ratio. For example, you spend $1 in CPC, on average, people are making 100% on that. They're making $2. So it's a 1-to-2 ratio that we use on the minimum level, a 1-to-4 ratio at the highest levels. Also, we modify the conversion rate that you might possibly get based on data. And we calculate with a rough ballpark how much money is behind at each niche. You see, I can tailor it here, and it gives you a rough idea of how much money. Did you think there's money in Google Ads? Yeah, there's a ton of money in Google Ads. It doesn't mean you'll make this money. It just gives you a rough idea of the score, if you will, of how much money is behind advertising, or how much money is behind AI, or how much money is behind Midjourney, or how much money is behind products, generally speaking. Of course, there's hundreds of thousands of dollars behind products, right? So this gives you a general sense for when you're doing rank and rent sites, what areas you might want to have to do rank and rent sites because you'll make the most money there. Or you're doing digital real estate, you're building up sites to rank, and you know that there's a lot of money behind these kinds of sites. This is where I would start to look for the keywords that are easiest to rank for, which we'll also show you by analyzing millions of data points and showing you a true metric of how easy it is to rank for a keyword. Not like Ahrefs, which if you watch past shows, we showed how Ahrefs competitive analysis was complete garbage. Our competitive analysis AI is using multiple points. It's a super smart AI that's using multiple AIs talking to each other. And it's doing an analysis of actually how hard it is to rank. We also show you analysis of actually how much money in a rough, and I mean rough guesstimate. That does not promise you'll make this money at all in any way, shape, or form. It just means there's a lot of money behind Google Ads, which everybody knows Google is one of the most lucrative companies on the planet, and that's how they make all their money. Of course, there's a lot of money behind Google Ads. So it's just getting a snippet of the raw money behind it. But you're like, okay, what if I make a site on Midjourney? There's a lot of money behind Midjourney, surprisingly. I can make a site all about Midjourney. I can rank for Midjourney queries. And then I could either rent those pages out to people who are trying to do Midjourney services, or I could sell those sites for people who want to rank for Midjourney queries. Also, you could also do this for affiliate marketing. You could be like, okay, I want to know, is there any money behind products? Should I do products for affiliate marketing? Yes, look, there's a ton of money, raw money in a rough guesstimate behind products. There's a whole bunch of money behind parking. There's a whole bunch of money behind business services, a whole bunch of money behind PPC, a whole bunch of money behind Dyson Airwrap, etc., drug rehab. These are all niches I'm sure people in the industry have heard of and might have even done audits for or know that. Having been in this industry for 25 years, I can tell you, I could have told you off the top of my head that these would have been very lucrative niches. I've done drug rehab sites for years. I know people who've done drug rehab sites for years. I know there's a lot of money behind it, right? You can also tailor it to just your area to see how much money is behind it in your area as well. So that's a very new, exciting thing that we're doing. So let me show you this here. If we check out, say, this is how much money is behind stock photos. Not a huge amount. Here's the money behind search engine optimization. Again, around the same amount. Let's take a look here at residential services. We also have here like residence assistants, nursing homes, a lot of money behind these niches, right? In a rough ballpark. This is low. So we're going to do a 1-to-2 ratio on the ad. So we're going to say they're going to make $3 for every 150 they spend, times this divided by 30, because around ranking number 1 you get about 30%, divided by 5%, and then minus 35% on the conversion. So to a conversion rate of like 1 or 2%. That's how much money is behind there. And so, again, it's not a promise you'll make that much, but it is a rough idea that is an apples to apples comparison between different keywords and an apples to apples comparison between different niches, which will quickly tell you how much money each area makes, which is super, super interesting in terms of should you bother be doing SEO for this? Why would you be doing SEO for niches that make like no money? Online DUI classes in Arizona doesn't make that much money compared to some other niches online, right? Now, I'm not dissing anyone's niche. If you want to work on that niche, by all means, work on that niche. There's still money to be made, right? And I could show you how much money there is to make roughly. But divorce lawyer LA, do you think that's the most lucrative niche? Not really. It doesn't make that much money. Sure, there's a pretty high CPC bid, but there's low searches, right? And there's very low competition. There's low competition, meaning that people are not really converting very well for this. So we only have about a $1,500 keyword revenue ballpark. It's a rough approximate. And if you asked a lawyer who worked in this niche, what the retainer is for this, it probably doesn't exceed this very much, quite frankly. I mean, it might in some rare cases, but most people.
So, sorry, quick thing not to interrupt you there is a difference between like attorneys and lawyers. Typically, an attorney is someone who's going to be representing you in like the court of law, and those retainers can actually be quite high.
Yeah.
I think Google Ads recently had an update that affected law stuff that might be skewing these a bit. I have some law clients that I'm on with Google Ads where there's lots of policy issues and ads being held back. But it's a neat point to bring up because some attorneys and some lawyers, you might be able to like sell to stuff for them per lead. But this would show that I would definitely say it's low competition and you can still make some money on it. But I am curious about for the law specific stuff, if there's been a little bit of a skew on it with the Google Ads stuff.
Entirely possibly, and I can confirm what you're saying. Look, Los Angeles divorce lawyer is 14 CPC, but divorce attorney is only 12 or 13 if you round up. And divorce lawyer is up 18% this year, but attorney is only up 14%. So yes, they have high retainers. You might be, Josh, they have, my divorce cost me $20,000 whatever, and I'm very sorry if that's the case, and my heartfelt apologies goes out to you. But the divorce lawyer's not making that every month. They make 40 grand in 1 month, and they have no other clients for 2 or 3 months, kind of a thing, I bet. So again, whether this is accurate or not is not the point. We are not saying this is a job choosing site where you should choose what your job is, and I want to be a divorce lawyer attorney because I can make $1,500 a month. And do not come back to us and say, Josh, I ranked for Los Angeles divorce attorney and I made 20 grand a month. Well, great, good for you. This is a conservative, rough approximate that is an apples to apples comparison. If you wanted to know, if you're planning your life as an SEO and you're like, what kind of clients should I go after? Should I go after divorce lawyers locally in LA? Or should I be going after parking? You should be going after parking because there's more money there on average, right? This is just a raw estimate of the averages. You should be doing Google Ads or trying to rank for Google Ads. You should be trying to rank for AI stuff, huge money behind that, which everybody knows. There's all kinds of other business services which make a lot more money, and because there's so many more millions of people looking for it. Like, take a look. There's some millions of people looking for things, right? In some of these areas, there can be a lot of people looking for these kinds of things. Like for parking, for example, it might not make anywhere near as much per CPC, but like for example, car park, parking spot, airport parking, LAX economy parking. There's 18,000 people looking for it. And it's got $4 a click, and it's up 34%. So that means there's a lot of money behind it, and Greg has worked in this niche for a very long time, and he will tell you that this number here, 2,800, as a rough approximate, is a little conservative, but it's pretty much accurate. Would you agree, Greg?
Yeah, it's definitely conservative because if you're ranking number one, you're probably making 2 to 3x that, but I think it's better to be on the safe side and not lead people astray and get their hopes up. So
exactly.
That's why we went with a more conservative route. But yeah, that's a good baseline for sure.
Yeah, and the point is that it's more about choosing as an SEO where you want to spend your SEO money. Do you want to go after divorce clients, or do you want to go after parking sites? Do you want to do rank and rent, or do you want to do client SEO? And if your client says, "Hey, I'm a divorce lawyer in LA," okay, you know what kind of money is involved there with the divorce lawyer, right? Not as much as if you have to choose between a divorce lawyer and a mesothelioma lawyer. There's way much more money behind this niche than there is behind this niche. And at the end of the day, it's just niches, man. For SEOs like us, for 25 years, it's just been this niche or that niche. Just compare them. We don't really know anything about the niche anyway. We're not lawyers, So it's just like, what are we going to try to rank for? You should be trying to rank for the niches that can make you the most money. Whatever kind of SEO you're doing, even if your CEO comes to you and you do in-house SEO and they're like, we need to rank for ballet for adults. The answer is no, we should be ranking for products instead. Look at this, just as a raw estimate, even if this is, even if this is off by a factor of 100%, this is still 10 times the money than there is for this. So, just as an example, so if your boss comes to you and it's like, we need to rank for Dyson Airwrap, versus we need to rank versus let's rank for ballet for adults, you're like, no, let's rank for this one first. It makes us a lot more money, and you're getting your job security there. You're making more money for your client. You're making more money for your boss, for your company. You're making more money for rank and rent opportunities. You're making more money for digital real estate opportunities. So we are pretty much the only tool out here that gives you this kind of a AI assisted, AI intelligent estimate. There's a number of AIs built in here that are doing this work to get the keyword revenue ballpark. It's just a ballpark again, but you can use it as a general idea. And of course,
Hey, John,
yeah, go ahead, Greg.
sorry. I was just gonna, before you get off this tab, just show quickly the wide net versus focused, because a lot of people have requested the wide net. Definitely casts a very wide net, and some people just don't want that, and they just want really close related keywords to that seed. So, that's something that we're going to roll out as well. And
That's cool.
Yeah, for example, so for free SEO blog content outline, our AI generated 4,000 keyword ideas for you, right? And they are vaguely related to very closely related, right? There's a lot of them that are closely related, and they can also be vaguely related, because it's casting a wide net, because there could be a gem keyword in here somewhere that you'd never considered, and that's why it casts a wide net. But some people don't want that wide net. They want to be focused. They don't want our AI to enter in any more ideas. So it'll only take the ideas from Keyword Planner, and it will not broaden the search. It'll eat up, I don't know about the credits it'll eat up, but you have to do more searches here like this and put more ideas in. But if that's what you want to do, that's what you can do. I personally like the wide net because I don't mind seeing other ideas in here and siphoning through the data. For me, the kind of SEO I do, the more data, the better, because I'm trying to cast a wide net to find those gem keywords I would have never have thought of. But I do admit, sometimes you have to put in, whether you choose wide net or not, you have to put in various like parking, LAX parking, advertising, Google Ads, PPC. I had to put in a lot of different keywords here, like I put in photos, stock photos, AI, artificial intelligence, AI images, expensive products, expensive services, business services, residential services, basic products, luxury products. You can see my thought process of trying to cut into the segments of where the most money might be. And I knew that business services would have a lot of money. I'm surprised it makes so much more money than expensive services. But I mean, the AI might not know what I'm talking about, right? But business services had really good ones in here as well. And so speaking of which, if you're like, okay, Josh, great. I've done the research. I rolled up my sleeves. I put in all of the queries that make the most money. I got some really good revenue ballparks here, and there's rough ballparks that are just an apples to apples comparison between these keywords and all this niche between any other niche. Now what do I do? Well, now what you do is you find the easiest niche to rank for that makes you the most money. That's why it's sorted by the final ROI. You sort by final ROI, and it'll take the most lucrative niches versus the difficulty, and it'll put it as a final ROI for you. And so you'll get like this one here, set up LLC. It's down 10% this year, but people pay $28 and has medium competition. That's a 1-to-3 revenue ratio at the very least. 8,000 people searching it. As a revenue ballpark, it's at 9,000 for a revenue ballpark, and it's only average difficulty, right? It's only plus 3% more difficult than every other niche in our system, and there are hundreds of thousands of niches in our system with millions of data points. And look how easy it is to rank for this. Nobody is optimizing for setup for LLC, according to this, right? We got some big brands. We have some pages that are definitely focused on it that are 50% or higher. So you definitely have competition that are focused on it, but nobody mentioned it in this specific way, setup LLC. They all went for a different keyword other than this. And that's what makes this keyword a complementary keyword that has maybe the same or a different query intent, which you need to analyze, but still not this exact same keyword. No one is optimizing for it, even though some pages are dedicated to it or very close to being dedicated to it, 50% dedicated to it. And no site here is dedicated to it. If you had a site to dedicated setting up LLC, you'd be really well positioned, and you used our system to find the boosting keywords, you'd be really well positioned to ranking for this keyword, I think. Okay, so that's the first one. Let me see if there's any questions here from anybody. Hey, Furman, hey, how you doing? Furman says, when are these additions going live to the Copilot platform? We're working hard to make sure that these are glitch-free before we release them. So it should be in the next few weeks for sure. I think we're very, very close. It could be even sooner than that. So watch for these coming out. All right. Now, the next one I wanted to mention is our changes to our report screen. So first off, how does this work? Well, first off, you come in here and let's say you found, okay, set up LLC. This is what I want to rank for. Set up LLC. I would put the keyword in there. That's your EMQ. That's your search phrase. Then what you do is you would select your location. It already tells us the average difficulty to remind you. I could say, okay, let's track a URL with this and give me the on-page score if I wanted. Let's do that here. Let's go set up LLC. Oops. And let's check, let's use this Forbes article. And let's say this is my article, or at least I want to track my competitor's article. You could do that as well. So let's enter this in here. And I don't want to auto-generate the article. Now we have a bunch of advanced options. We've built a ton of new AI models for you. A ton of new AI models. Here we have the BERT test that we had. We're still using it. We also have a legacy neural matching rank brain model that we built for you. This model, we have to build it for you. It takes longer, 20 minutes. We have a new neural matching test, which takes a little bit less time, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I'm going to turn this one off. We have a new rank brain model that we've built for you. This is the old legacy neural matching rank brain model. If you click these, you'll have a much more accurate test. But if you unclick these, this new rank brain model and this new rank brain model is a pretty good replacement for it. You're still going to get pretty good AI model scoring. It's just way, way faster. Also, we've incorporated two new tests. We have a TW-BERT. TW-BERT is a new AI for SEO model. It is a term weighting BERT model. If you guys, anyone who's watched Google closely has watched the white papers and know that they have a term weighting BERT. BERT that's one of their transformer models. It stands for bidirectional encoded representations from transformer. This is a term weighting BERT. This is an LLC or a transformer which encodes and decodes semantic meaning and decides the weight of terms in a particular query space. So it'll know how much more weight synonyms will have, for example. Neural matching is similar as well in that it ranks for metonyms. Rank brain is similar in that it matches for concepts or ideas. So does BERT rank for concepts or ideas, and it matches pages. And then finally, we also have something that nobody else has. Nobody has this. Nobody has TW-BERT. Nobody has any of this, quite frankly. But nobody else has TW-BERT. Super proud of that test. It does very well. And we can crank out that model very quickly for you with our super beefy servers. Also, we have query interpretation. Google will rank multiple queries for multiple words. And nobody else tracks this. Nobody else watches this. Nobody else analyzes this at the level that we do if at all, period. So I'm going to show you how quick this can be. I'm going to just do this one, this one, this one, and this one. I don't need that much depth. I'll say close for that. I'll say start keyword report. So while that's analyzing, we see here it's at 0%. It's being analyzed. It shows you the keyword revenue ballpark, shows you the difficulty ballpark. It shows you what's easier and what's how much money it makes. It also, if you have a page already existing for it, it will tell you your spam score, which I'll get to in a second. That's a super white hat spam score that we have, no one else has. Semantic score, which we keep you completely white hat and making sure you're not stuffing keywords in there. And our heat score, our helpfulness, experience, expertise, authority, and trust score. I will show you that in a second. And whether or not you have too predictable content. Whether you used AI to generate the content or not, your content can still be too predictable. I'll repeat that. Did you know this? Whether you used AI to generate the content or not does not matter. And Google does not specifically say you cannot use AI content. It just says you cannot use spammy or made for SEO content or low quality content. And so predictability of your words, of how boring your speech is one way of detecting all those things together, including AI content. And we are the only ones who have this proprietary AI content score. It's an AI content score which checks predictability in a way that nobody else does. So, when that's done, let me show you how the report looks. You get results that look like this. That shows you, not only does it shows you a couple things that we mentioned that was really important. It shows you the scoring from these different tests, the BERT test, the RankBrain test, the TW-BERT test, and the query interpretation test. It scores up these words and tells you what each of these AIs would score the words, and they score them all differently, right? BERT scores them differently, then RankBrain will score them differently, then TW-BERT will score them differently, then query interpretation will score them differently. And we tally that up much in the way that Google does. But look at this. We also do this for phrases, right? Phrase entities are also important. Single word entities are important for various AIs. But for AIs like BERT, for example, phrases are important. And we do this for phrases. We also, to tell you, getting back to query intent, this tells you the query intent you need to be on, for example. When people are searching Newark Airport parking, you'd think they're looking for parking rates. Yeah, that's one thing they're looking for, but quite actually, they're looking for options for parking at Newark Airport. Or they're looking for information on EWR airport parking. That's the query intent. And that's what our AI systems will use to write an article around for you after analyzing the SERP and determining what the query intent is for you. So our AI can generate and make sure you're on the proper query intent. Or if you want to write it by hand, sure, you can write it by hand. You can use this report, and I'll show you the content brief you can use, and you can give that to your writer, and you could say, look, here's the query intent that the AI has analyzed after looking at hundreds of data points. This is the query intent we need to write for, and you can have the human writing for it. All right, and finally, I want to keep this under an hour for sure. Finally, let's look at the generation process. So whether or not you write it by hand, you can write it here in our WYSIWYG editor, no problem, and you can highlight things, and you can whatever, you can make them italicized, you can do whatever you want. Our SEO system also now has a spam score. So let me get rid of this thing here for a second. We have a proprietary, all of our overall SEO scores are completely proprietary. The spam score is a measure of how white hat you are. The content score is a measure of how white hat you are, but also if you are mentioning the right entities and you're on the right query intent. And the heat score, which takes the actual questions from that are actually published by Google and gives you a score of 1 out of 10 to tell you whether or not you have high quality content. And if you see a report like this, you don't. This is a very bad heat score. It should be much better for sure. All these 4s and 5s and 6s should probably be improved for sure. And not only that, but to remain completely white hat. We are helping you be white hat with this AI tool in a way that no other tool is doing. And also our spam score. And you're like, okay, well, Josh, what's the spam score? How do I know that I have a bad spam score? Well, you see, we have this little exclamation mark on the SEO tab. You'd click on the SEO tab, and you can look at your spam scores. And I'll just make it slightly bigger here for you. And here you can see the offending spam score here that's giving you the really high overall spam score is the body content. It's 90 out of 100. The spam score for this page is 90%, even, although the average is 10% of your competitors. Right here, it's warning you, you do not have the query intent. You do not have the right content. It's not made for the user. It's made for SEO. You need to improve it. And let me just read a little portion it says here. It says, if acting as a quality rater, I would not pass this page for #1 ranking on Google search engine due to the keyword stuffing issues. The content appears to match the likely query intent of users looking for parking options at Newark Airport, but the execution conflicts with the quality guidelines. So this is super awesome. Nobody else has this capability. Nobody else has SEO. This is the beginning of our SEO Copilot AGI, right? This is an artificial general intelligence. This is an AI that's talking with other AIs, that's analyzing content as an assistant for you, that is an SEO Copilot that will tell you when your scores are not good enough and you need to deal with them and what the average of your competitors are. This will guarantee you better rankings in a completely white hat way. Whether you generated the article in 5 minutes and we're done and just had to make a few little changes, or whether you wrote it yourself, you can still use the spam score and it'll keep you completely white hat. You can make a brief here and you could say, okay, here's the brief. I want you to use this query intent, and you would copy and paste it from the reports screen. You say, I want the options for parking Newark Airport to be the query intent. So let's go ahead and use that tell the writer that's what you're going to write it all about. And so you could save that and you have a complete brief for your writer. You can also look at the URLs the competitors are using and choose what URL is going to be. Look at their title tags and spy on the competitors and decide what your title tag is going to be. You can also look at the meta description and decide what your meta description is going to be for the brief. We also show you, in terms of our AI scoring, which words scored the highest. And the meta description AI is different than the URL and title tag AI, by the way. The best scored entities are different. Not only that, but you can also generate them here in the SEO, right? You can generate the title automatically. So Newark Airport parking, convenient shuttle service to Newark Airport parking. All right, great. So you're like, okay. And then you can check to see, is this going to be too spammy or not? You can be like, okay, well, it's an SEO. I'm going to change this. I'm going to go, I want to stay on the query intent. So actually, I'm going to go and say, find options for parking at EWR Airport. So I'm getting those extra synonyms in there, right? That's what I'll do because Newark is, I believe it's EWR, isn't it? That's the airport code. And then after I'm done with this, I'm going to check the spam score. So I'll click this. It's still experimental. It could take, the AI needs to actually think about it. There's a couple AIs analyzing this, thinking about it, checking competitors, checking our models. So it could take a couple seconds to do this. But eventually it'll and on the production, this is on the staging server, which is slower. On the production server, it will be faster. And eventually it comes up and boom, look at this. It says the spam score is 5 out of 5. It says the title incorporates the EMQ Newark Airport parking without repeating it, and it provides useful information for finding the parking at EMQ Airport, blah, 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 blah. However, the title can be considered slightly lacking in specific selling points or perks that could make it more appealing. Additionally, the absence of a date signal means it does not assure the user about the content's timeliness, which could affect its perceived relevance. Overall, the title is straightforward and relevant, but with a missed opportunity for adding value and freshness. So we are protecting you. Now, ultimately, this is a little, I have to modify this. This is probably a little too draconian. The average is 4 to 5, though. So you have a lot of room here. It tells you what your competitor is at. What it's complaining about here is we don't have 2024. It wants the date at the end, for sure. It wants the date at the end.
Yeah.
That would make it a little bit better. Also, I might have used this example in the training set, which is another reason why I gave it such a bad score. That is entirely possible. So let me do the spam score again, now that I put the date in, and see what it changes. But at least you saw that the average was 4 to 5. And you know what the spam score is going to be for your competitors. So you know you can be less spammy than them. And knowing what the query intent is and knowing what's going to be less spammy is exactly what Ryan was talking about for what you need to watch for. So let me see if there's any questions about that. If you guys have any questions, by all means, please ask them really quickly before we sign off here. Let me go back to the reports. So as you can see, the setup LLC is already done. It was done in the 5-10 minutes. It's way faster than it was before. It's giving you all these semantic scores of the page I pulled in. And it's giving you the average difficulty and the heat score for it already. If we look at the report, we could see the results here. And we could see the rank brain. We could see the total score. Set up an LLC. It's like steps to set up an LLC. That's clearly the query intent. Whoops. My computer is huffing and puffing. It shows you the steps to set up an LLC, how to form an LLC, right? That's what they want. They want steps to set up an LLC. This is what the query intent is. And it also will check the competitors as well. Also, it shows you the words. Company is a very important word that you might not have thought of saying at all, but it's a very important entity for the entity of setting up an LLC. Start setting it up. Set up a limited company. Setting it up. Form. You have a form to fill out. Some of these AIs like that word. Some of these AIs does not. The query interpretation test is like, nope, that's not part of the query, but it is a sub keyword you need to add to boost your rankings for it, right? So this is starting to give SEO information of a level that no other tool gives you, and it was all gotten by AI. It was all gotten by AI. So yeah, there we go. Now my spam score is 0 out of 5. It's like, I just wanted that date in there. And boom, now we know that we're not spammy on that regard. And the average is 4 out of 5, so that's a really good score for us.
So I noticed a neat thing about user intent the other day. I was digging deep into like criminal law defense search terms, and so if I search like criminal defense lawyer on desktop, and I looked at those results, there was a little bit of like a blended SERP or fractured SERP that we spoke of. But when I did that same search on my mobile phone from that same area, I got results that were more like just firms to connect with. Now, a unique thing that I know about criminal law is that what happens typically is that, someone gets arrested for a DUI, anyway, they get arrested over the weekend, they get out on Monday, the first thing they do is they grab their phone, they search, and they want to call a lawyer. And I'm wondering if Google shifts intent depending on the device because the behaviors can slightly vary.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what Google will do. If you have your phone in hand, you're ready to call somebody. It's going to shift you down to the more navigational end of the search, right? So that's another, I'm so glad you brought that up. That's another really important idea to keep in mind when you're choosing what keywords to go for and what the query intent for this keyword might be. If you want to rank for the mobile ranking, you might want to shift to maybe, sometimes it's informational, you might want to shift to a more navigational search, especially in the local areas where they're going to call right away. They're going to call the lawyer, they're going to call the roofer, they're going to call the plumber. Those are going to be more shift to more navigational. And our AI can help you analyze those kinds of things. So this is how you use AI for SEO. This is the creme de la creme of how you use this system. Let me let's do this to the side here. Let me go back to gallery view here for a second. Sorry. So SEO is not getting easier, right? SEO is not getting any easier. You need to use AI for SEO to analyze these things, and you can still do it completely white hat. For agencies, it's going to save you so much money doing AI for SEO. For in-house, it's going to save you so much money doing AI for SEO, using an AI system to help with your search engine optimization. So as I promised, I said we'd keep it short. Greg and Ryan, do you guys have any final thoughts you want to mention before we sign off?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing, I guess, that's making it harder is that the ability to accurately spoof signals is tough when you don't have tools like this at hand. So if you're not getting with the trend, get with it for sure. because there's more information online for Google to evaluate and consider than there ever has been before. Something I was thinking about the other day is that back in early 2000s, not everyone had a LinkedIn, not everyone posted when the job changed, not everyone even posted about the personal life stuff. But now that all this evidence is online, Google's just shifted the way that their detective's working, and you got to account for so many different things that you really do need tools for like this if you're going to exceed in your search campaigns. It's now becoming more about search engine marketing as opposed to just search engine optimization.
Completely. There's all kinds of entity signals that they use AI to detect that you're going to need to use AI to determine where you need to be, what you need to do, to completely, if you want to consider it from a black hat perspective, spoof those signals. I would say, how about from a white hat perspective, you just have a LinkedIn and post on it? Like there's search engine marketing benefit to doing that anyway. But we can be all things to both groups, right? AI automation for SEO, AI for SEO is all about automating like a black hat, but selling like a white hat. Researching like a black hat with efficiency,
Right.
with laser efficiency, with blisteringly speed efficiency, but then producing content at a totally white hat level and using AI for SEO to produce that content at a white hat level that no one else shows you your spam score. No one else shows you your heat score. You need this to rank moving forward. It's not going to get any easier, as Ryan said. So, Greg, do you have any final comments before we sign off?
No, not really. I think you covered it.
Awesome. So thanks everyone for watching. If you have any questions at all, email me at joshbashinsky@gmail.com. That's JOSH, B as in Bob, ACH, Y as in YouTube, N as in Nancy, SKI @gmail.com. Any SEO questions? If you want to try SEO Copilot out for yourself, you want to check your spam score, I bet you'd be very interested to see what your spam score is. Sign up at SEOCopilotai.com. and you can get your free trial going on. And again, it's very cheap to sign onto the system, to use it to start. I guarantee to you, it'll make you more money. It'll increase the speeds at which you're doing things. It'll make you rank higher. It'll make you rank more easily, whether you're doing black hat or you're doing completely white hat stuff. Of course, we're all doing white hat stuff. So it'll completely help you do your SEO, whether you're an agency in-house or you're working on the side doing rank and rent or digital real estate. It's going to help you across the board. AI for SEO is the place to be. All right, with that in mind, thanks very much, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you next time. And let's see if I can find